All right, people. We are on astrology vlog number 8. Today we're going to talk about synastry. And I'm going to tell you some stories about myself and my boyfriend and the synastry between us. And actually, we'll be focusing on just one planet. It's going to be the moon. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get started. Okay. So here you can see my chart on the inside. My moon is in Aquarius in my 11th house. And my boyfriend's moon is in Taurus. So his chart is on the outside. And his moon sits on my ascendant in Taurus. And obviously, our moons are square. So today we're going to talk about the square, especially. That's going to be the focus. And I'm going to start by telling you about my boyfriend a little bit. And specifically about his moon in Taurus. Now, Alex is his name. Alex is a very grounded person. He likes to sit in his chair and look outside the window at what the birds are doing, or at the snow, or the people walking past. He is kind of a Luddite in the sense that he's not into technology. He doesn't like to be on the phone. He doesn't like to be on the internet. He's not into the internet world. He doesn't participate in it. He doesn't watch videos. He doesn't read threads. He has no social media accounts. Okay, so he's offline. He's offline. Instead, he likes to be outside. He'll leave early in the morning with his bike. He will stop on the stone bridge and look at the ducks. And he enjoys to feel the wind. And he goes in the morning to McDonald's. He goes to McDonald's every day. And if he doesn't go to McDonald's, he goes to Brothaus, which is like a bakery coffee shop kind of thing. Um, so one of the two places. And he'll sit there and have a coffee and maybe a pastry. And he loves to just sit there and be with himself. By the way, if you look at his chart on its own, his moon is in his 12th house. And he doesn't like to be bothered. He likes to be in public. By the way, I guess I'm gonna put in his Venus. Because it's in the 11th house. The 11th house is the public. And again, when he goes out in public, he goes to McDonald's, for example. And so, obviously that's the Taurus, right? Because for him, it's all about sitting down somewhere and eating and just being there and enjoying his coffee, maybe enjoying his burger. That's his daily life, and he loves to do that. And he likes to be amongst people, but he doesn't want them talking to him. He likes to be left alone, to be on his own. Let's take Venus out again. And after McDonald's, he would go to the gym. He goes to the gym almost every day. I guess 90% of days he goes to the gym. And he likes to be there and be slow and take his time and really feel his body and his joints and his muscles and just like lift the heavy weights and feel the weight. So he's very physical. He's a very physical person. But still, you'll notice that he also has a Gemini stellium, also in his 12th house. And he loves to be in his mind. He loves to travel and think about things. But again, it's in the 12th house. He's kind of talkative, but only with me. He is very kind of intellectual, but at the end of the day, not too much. And again, it's not like it's Aquarius, right? It's Gemini. So it's much more just chatting, chit-chatting energy. And he likes to chit-chat with me and talk about different things, listen to me, ask questions, be asked questions, share, understand, learn something new. But at the end of the day, his primary essence is to be grounded. And when he comes home from the gym and from his outings, he typically lays down to take a rest and he'll take a nap at least once a day, sometimes twice. And it's very important for him to always move very slowly, never rush anywhere, take his time. And I often, he'll say that almost every day. Okay, things are moving too fast now. I need to slow down. So he says that every day, I need to slow down now. So there's his moon in Taurus. Now, by contrast, I have the moon in Aquarius. So if we just look at mine by itself, I'm very mental. I'm very brainy. I'm thinking about society all the time. I use lots of social media and I'm on social media the whole day and I'm watching videos and I'm constantly reading what people are saying in the comments. I'm very interested in public opinion. So I'm nonstop watching videos, reading threads, sometimes commenting, most of the time spectating, but at all times interested in how people relate to each other on that vast internet. Obviously, I also have a YouTube channel where I interact with you guys in the comments. The channel is still small, but I guess it's going to grow. I have a small and humble following on TikTok, almost 20,000 followers, and so people are constantly leaving comments there, and I like to interact with them also. I'm on Threads, which is kind of like Twitter if you don't use it, and I read what people are saying, and sometimes I post and I interact with people there. And obviously, I have clients from all over the world. So I kind of know many people all over the place, and I interact with them frequently. So my life is extraordinarily social. Like, very, very. I live on the internet, essentially. And I play video games also. And I play specifically team player video games. I play League of Legends, so I'm always placed on a team of 5 people, any match that I play. And so I also work on a team basis there as well. And overall, I'm very intrigued by social systems, like the system of a country, the community of a city, the systems of governance, how to distribute resources between people, how people get along within countries and within nationalities, and when you become multicultural. So that interaction in the global human apparatus for me is absolutely fascinating, and I constantly think about it and wish that I could participate in it even more. And I guess I will. But for the time being, I'm 29. I haven't even really passed through my Saturn return. This is the year for it. So I'm still kind of more of a spectator in the background. But that's always been the case since I was a little kid. I was a social mega butterfly. Okay. My mom said that I would get lost in the crowd and she would just see me talking to strangers, which for her was worrisome. And my teachers were annoyed because I was so friendly and I would like interrupt the class or I'd be talking to people all the time. At work, the management had a difficult time with me because I would be socializing too much with the people around me. So I really take interest in people. Of course, my moon is in Aquarius in the 11th house. Like it just comes so naturally to me. Plus, my moon is trine my Venus in Gemini. I'm pretty good at talking. And I love to talk nicely with everyone. Again, it comes naturally to me to be kind to people and to take interest in them, to ask good questions, and to know lots and lots and lots of people. Like it just comes so easily for me to do all the socializing. Still, my son is in the fourth house, and I'm also kind of a loner. And I enjoy to be very deep with myself. Like I'm most comfortable at home when I'm in my domain. That is when I'm really brilliant and shining. That is why I can so easily express myself on camera, because I'm alone in the house. So you can see how all of those planets are kind of working together, right? And I build this all just to ultimately go back to the synastry and just point out to you what's happening, the square between them. My boyfriend is grounded, non-internet, chronically offline, totally physical. Okay, he lives in the physical world. If it's not here and now, he's not interested. He doesn't like the internet, and he also doesn't like anything that's far away. He loses contact with things that are far away. So, presence is very important for him. The physical presence of somebody is what helps him to feel connected. For me, it's not the same way. Okay, I'm chronically on the internet. I'm constantly interacting with people. I'm very interested in the internet. Let's make sure this thing isn't going to kick me out. And there's the square between us. The way we spend our days is dramatically different. Dramatically different. And so it's very often that I'm just going to tell him, and look, so notice what happens when I put his chart on the inside and my chart on the outside. You can see that my Aquarius moon is sitting exactly on his midheaven, 29 degrees, 29 degrees. And so he, in our relationship, one of the focal things is my work. And I explained to him just everything that happens online. And in fact, so much so that he forgets the names when I repeat them, because I repeat so many names to him. I would say at least 1,000 names of people I've shared with him as I tell him stories about the things that happen to me on the internet, with my clients, the live streams, in the community, and so on. And so through me, he kind of has this impulse of the public, but it's kind of distant for him in a way also because he's just here in our tiny house and he's totally away from all of that. So he doesn't really have a relationship to it by himself. It's just something that he hears, but is not doesn't get close to him because he isolates himself. That's just his nature. He doesn't want to be a part of all that loud world. And if you notice, and I put myself again on the inside wheel, his moon sits on my ascendant in Taurus. So he really grounds me. And oftentimes when I'm so much in my head, like in all the mental stuff that's going on and all the contemplation, thinking about all the people and being on the internet, sometimes the only thing that really helps me to relax and calm down is just to cuddle with him. Just lay in bed together and rest and just feel. That is when I start to kind of land in my body. And um, we live in his house on his land. And this house is made of wood. I'm sure you can see. Right? So it's all the earth materials. There's his moon in Taurus on my ascendant. I live on his property in his wooden house that he built. And for me, interestingly enough, the moon in Aquarius in the 11th house, I've lived all over the world. All over. I guess in 8 or 9 different countries. And so for me, living here with him in Germany, again, is part of this worldly life that I have had. And I always just ended up in different places. I certainly didn't expect myself to be in Germany. Whereas he, the Taurus moon, has stayed here in Germany. He left only for a brief period of a couple of years and he lived in Austria, which is a neighboring country. And he never got much further than that, never wanted to. And he ended up returning here because he just likes to be in a grounded place where he's rooted. So there you can see a little bit of the synastry of the square between our moons. And yes, occasionally it creates some kind of conflict just in the fact that I'm everywhere and he's here. And so sometimes I'll tell him about like this is what's happening in the United States right now and he just kind of is resistant because he feels like but that's not real. You're not there. He tells me you don't have all the information. You don't know what's really happening. For him it's more like look just like look up, like look around. We're in this house. We go to the store. That's what often he'll tell me like that's what's real for him is like going to the grocery store or having a burger. He loves to go to McDonald's because the people there aren't in this huge mental sphere of the internet where there's all these arguments and ideas and philosophies and whoa, whoa, whoa. People there are just like sitting and eating and enjoying each other's company or not, but it's something very grounded. It's totally not haughty. It's not extraordinary. It's not extravagant. There's so much simplicity in it, and that is what he likes. That there's nothing special happening there. And so it feels very grounding. That's the word he uses most often in life. Grounding, slowing down. Whereas I'm constantly talking about what's happening in the United States, what's happening in Germany, what's happening in the European Union, what happened on the internet today, what is the interaction I saw between these people on this thread, what did I learn about watching that video on TikTok? And so it's very different. The worlds we live in are very different. The way we spend our day, the way we spend our kind of where we invest our private energy is very different. But it works and it's totally fine, right? And so the square is about that difference in our attitudes and our character, but it's also quite enriching. We just help each other be bigger together by sharing in that way. So I'll leave it there for today, and I'll see you in the next vlog. All right. Have a great day.